Have you ever wondered why the most chosen, the most gifted, the ones with destiny written in their bones, often feel alone? Why is it that those carrying light can't seem to stay too long in crowds? Could it be because not every room can handle the weight of who you truly are? Have you ever stopped to ask yourself why every time you step into certain rooms, your spirit feels heavy, as though you're carrying a burden no one else can see, as though you don't belong there, as though the very air is fighting against the light within you? Could it be because not every space is designed to hold the weight of your destiny? Not every crowd is capable of recognizing the fire God placed inside you, and if you stay too long, their noise might smother the very whisper of heaven trying to guide your steps. You see, the chosen are different. And difference has always been misunderstood. When you are marked with purpose, your presence itself unsettles people, not because you are doing something wrong, but because the glow of truth in you exposes the shadows in them. Think about Joseph. He was young, innocent, filled with a dream straight from God. And yet when he spoke it aloud, when he shared what he saw, his own brothers could not handle it. Their hearts turned against him. They despised him, not because he was evil, but because destiny on him made them see their own lack. And if Joseph had remained too long in their company, if he had kept shrinking himself to fit their comfort, his dream would have been buried in silence before it ever had a chance to breathe. And this is why the chosen cannot surround themselves with too many voices, for every voice carries a weight. Some lift you and some drown you, some direct you toward your calling and others pull you away from it. And when you have been chosen, you cannot afford to be swayed by the wrong sound, because your path is already narrow, your margin for error already slim. Crowds will cheer you one moment and crucify you the next, but solitude, that sacred quiet place, that is where direction is born, that is where clarity descends. That is where God leans in and whispers what the crowd would never let you hear. Yet here lies the mystery. Chosen ones long for belonging. They want connection. They crave love. And yet every time they linger too long in the wrong atmosphere, they leave feeling smaller, dimmer, drained, as if their very essence has been stolen, and deep down their spirit knows, this is not my place. This is not where I am meant to grow. And the real question you must ask yourself is this: if even your silence seems too loud for some people, then perhaps you were never meant to sit among them at all. But if not there, then where? Have you ever noticed how even the people closest to you, the ones who should clap the loudest for your victories, sometimes turn silent, sometimes turn cold, sometimes even turn against you? And have you ever wondered why? Why would those who claim to love you struggle the most when God elevates you? Why would those who should protect you become the very ones to wound you? The truth is this: chosen ones often discover that betrayal does not come from strangers, it comes from familiar faces. And the danger of staying too long in those circles is that the same hands that once held you can become the same hands that try to strangle your dream. Think of Joseph again. He wasn't despised by kings or rulers. He was despised by his brothers, those who grew up beside him, those who ate with him, laughed with him, played with him. Yet when he revealed the vision of his future, they could not celebrate, they could only conspire. They sold him not because he lied, but because he dared to believe. And here lies the painful truth. Sometimes the people around you cannot see beyond who you used to be. They cannot accept that the boy or girl they knew has been called to rise above them. And when they cannot understand your calling, they will mock it, they will minimize it, or they will try to kill it. And if you stay too long in that atmosphere, you will begin to doubt yourself. You will begin to question whether the dream is real, whether you even heard God right, because poison spoken often enough can start to sound like truth. But destiny cannot survive in poisoned soil, and so God will begin to pull you away, to separate you, to strip away attachments that feel safe but secretly choke your growth. And though it feels like loss, it is actually preservation, for chosen ones must learn that not every hand clapping is genuine, Not every smile is sincere. Not every friend is truly for you. And the tragedy is that you might spend years seeking acceptance in places never designed to hold your future. But the moment you let go of needing their approval, you unlock a freedom no betrayal can take. Yet here's the haunting question: if even family can betray you, then who can you trust and where can you truly rest? What if I told you that the very noise you keep surrounding yourself with is the reason you can't hear the answers you've been begging God for? What if the reason you feel lost isn't because heaven is silent, but because the crowd around you is too loud? Chosen ones cannot afford to be swallowed by noise. Because your assignment is delicate, your instructions are precise, and every distraction can derail the path set before you. Think about it. A surgeon cannot operate in a stadium filled with shouting voices. He needs quiet, he needs focus. And so it is with you. The more valuable your calling, the more silence it requires, because crowds may cheer your name, but destiny whispers your instructions. And if you trade whispers for applause, you will end up celebrated by people, but disconnected from purpose. Imagine Moses raised in Pharaoh's palace, surrounded by wealth, by influence, by power. Yet when it was time for God to shape him, he wasn't shaped in a banquet hall. He was shaped in the wilderness, far away from the noise, far away from the voices, because only in the desert could he learn to recognize the sound of the burning bush. And here's the danger: if you spend too much time in the wrong crowd, their voices will start to sound like your own. You'll carry their opinions into your prayer life, you'll confuse their expectations with God's directions, and you'll begin to move not by conviction but by comparison, and nothing kills destiny faster than comparison. So when you feel that nudge pulling you into isolation, do not despise it. It is not rejection. It is redirection. It is heaven carving out a sacred space where you can finally hear clearly. And yet the tension is real because loneliness feels heavy. It feels cruel. And sometimes you wonder, am I missing out? Am I falling behind? Why am I being stripped of company while others seem surrounded by support? But listen closely. The ones who walk with many may have companionship, but the ones who walk with God have clarity, and clarity is worth more than 1,000 empty cheers. But here is the question that lingers like a shadow. If destiny whispers only in silence, then how much longer will you keep drowning in the noise before you finally decide to listen? Why is it that every time you step into the wrong room, you leave feeling smaller, weaker, as if your very soul has been drained? Could it be because your spirit recognizes what your eyes cannot see? That not every atmosphere is safe for your destiny? That not every gathering is meant to feed you? Some are designed to starve you. Chosen ones must understand this. Your light cannot burn bright in every place, because some people do not gather to fuel you, they gather to feed off you. They take your energy, your joy, your strength, until you walk away, wondering why you feel so empty. But here's the mystery. Your spirit knows when you don't belong. It whispers in your chest, it aches in your bones, and though you try to silence it with smiles and small talk, the truth remains: you are not planted there. And if you force yourself to stay, the soil will suffocate you. Think of Samson, called to deliver Israel. Yet every time he lingered in the wrong company, he lost more of himself, his vision blurred, his strength weakened, until at last he lay bound by the very people he thought loved him. And so it is with you. Every wrong atmosphere weakens your gift until one day you risk forgetting who you are. But here is where the shift comes, because isolation, though heavy, is not punishment, it is preparation. And diamonds are not formed in crowds, but in hidden places, under pressure, in the dark. And eagles do not gather in flocks like pigeons. They soar high, alone, unseen, until the appointed moment. And so your solitude is the sacred womb of your destiny, where strength is forged and clarity is sharpened. And yet this leaves you with a haunting choice. Will you keep chasing belonging in places that dim your fire? Or will you embrace the lonely road that leads to the mountaintop? Because one day, the very people who questioned your absence will be forced to witness your rising. And when they ask how you survived, how you thrived, how you stood alone when others fell, You will look back and know it was in the quiet, in the hidden, in the solitude where God held you, shaped you, and prepared you for what eyes have not yet seen. But here's the question that should shake you. If the daughter crowd is draining your soul and solitude is building your strength, which one will you choose before time runs out? So if you find yourself walking alone, do not mistake it for abandonment. It is appointment with greatness. A point with destiny. You are not meant to be everywhere with everyone all the time. You are meant to be exactly where your purpose can breathe. Hold your head high, walk with grace, and remember this: the chosen cannot always sit with the many because their calling is to rise above the ordinary. You may walk alone, but you are never alone, for the one who chose you walks with you. And when the time comes, the world will see what heaven always knew about you.